The older I get, the more I'm attractive to even younger and younger women. If you're in halfway decent shape, hopefully good shape, hopefully you can tuck your shirts in. Hopefully, I mean, don't tuck your shirts into your shorts with your sandals and tube socks, but and you dress halfway decent. That is all a evolutionary and social proof to younger women that's wired into their DNA. That guy's got good genes. He'll not only father healthy babies because he's still alive in his 50s and 60s and looking healthy, right? You got to look healthy. But if you're taking good care of yourself into your 50s, 60s, I'll let you know about 70s, but I think it will hold. You'll turn their heads. They'll notice you. They'll be flirting with you. They'll be sending you indicators of interest.
Choose a woman who chooses you. And I wondered if we could kick the conversation off with having you give a little bit more context to what that means to you and why you think that's an important idea.
All right. Yeah, that's not the quote I thought you were going to pick, but let's go with it. It's I love it. It's not original with me. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. I heard David Data say that in a workshop. Oh, I don't know, 17, 18 years, 16, 17 years ago, maybe. Maybe not even that long ago, but it's been a while back. And he's a brilliant teacher, no matter what. And if your listeners are not familiar with The Way of the Superior Man, I think anybody that listens to podcasts that orient towards men and masculinity, they probably have either heard of or read The Way of the Superior Man. So I was at this workshop, and it came at an interesting time in my life. I discovered The Way of the Superior Man maybe a year or two after my second divorce. So I was in my late 40s, pushing 50, out there in the dating world for the first time, really since college. And I sucked at it in college. My way of connecting with women was using what I call nice guy seduction. In class, I'd try to stand out by, being smart and, knowing the questions to the professor. Usually the woman I'd pick couldn't be too good looking, it couldn't be too bad looking, just not non-threatening, try to make an impression on her, ask her questions, try to get to know her, listen to her talk, maybe, offer to do things for her, and maybe eventually go, I don't guess you'd want to go out with me sometime, would you? Really I'd pick them because they were non-threatening and I could make an impression on them and get them to like me. And then once I got a girlfriend, I stayed way too long because I didn't really know how to, I had girlfriends through high school and college, but, I just didn't really know how to date, how to go out and find the women that would bless my life. So again, once I got one, if she wasn't too bad, I hung on way too long. So I've been married for a total of 25 years to two women, both of whom had a lot of good qualities, but I should not have dated either one of them more than about 3 dates. But I was married to them for 25 years. My first wife had my son, and my second wife was who I was married to when I wrote No More Mr. Nice Guy. So I'm grateful for both of them. They just were not great matches. But so when I got divorced in my late 40s, I thought, okay, if I don't want to just repeat the same thing over again, I got to do things different. And I knew I had to become a better picker and had to become a better ender. And so I really just worked to be more of a social animal and just interacting with people. And I learned a lot and quickly found out that a lot of women sent me signals of attraction. I didn't have to seduce them. I didn't have to, I call it, I didn't have to go pound on closed doors trying to get the door to open, i.e. a woman who was hot, did not know I existed, and had 25 other guys in any given moment vying for her attention, right? So I did learn to date much more effectively, not using the nice guy seduction. And also learned that, like I said, being a good ender. I quickly found out being a good ender covers a multitude of sins of being a bad picker. Because if you think about it, dating actually is a process of making a lot of bad picks. Guys will say, Robert, I don't know what's wrong. I keep going on all these one and done coffee dates. And I go, oh, you must be doing it right. That's how it's supposed to work. Rarely do you go on a date and that woman becomes your wife of 50 years, right? It just rarely happens. It's normal, especially in today's dating world, to go on a lot of dates. Everybody has lots of choices nowadays. Nobody tends to latch on right away. We can talk more about that if you want. Why, with all the technology we have, nobody's in relationship and nobody's getting laid these days? It's kind of a paradox. So I was learning how to be a better picker, learning how to be a better ender. And when I was at this workshop with David Data, and he said a lot of things that were just really, just mind blowing. But he said that simple line: choose a woman who chooses you. And I had to ponder that for a moment, but quickly it became pretty clear to me is that, for example, in both of my previous marriages, I was constantly trying to get my partners to choose me. I mean, they're already married to me, but like with my first wife, she'd get upset about something. I never knew what. And to this day, I still don't know what she used to get upset about. I mean, I wasn't perfect, but she never would tell me. She would clam up and withdraw, and I'd have to chase her and try to figure out what the hell did I do? How do I make it back? How do I get it back to good? And then my second wife, I mean, she could go into a mood of funk, get angry at me, and that could last for weeks, months, even years, right? And after a while, I just get tired of chasing her, and just the last 5 years of that marriage, I just coexisted with her because it was obvious she wasn't choosing me. I mean, this is the woman who on our honeymoon announced, "Aren't you glad now that we're married, we don't have to pretend to like sex?" I'm thinking, wait a minute. You were choosing me sexually before we got married. What changed? Um, so when I heard Data say that, choose a woman who chooses you. Now, there's two ways you can go with this. And the way most men go is, oh, the only women that choose me are like fat, unattractive, and older. Right. That's usually what most guys go when they hear that, choose a woman. So basically, the only women that, that match with me on Tinder or Bumble or Match.com, I'm not interested. Okay. And of course, every guy, you basically have, on any given site, you have thousands of men, competing for the same few women attention. And guys think, why doesn't that work better for me? Well, whatever that ratio is, whether it's 1,000 to 1, 10,000 to 1, 100,000 to 1, guys competing for the same few women's attention. But that's what we want, right? We want the ones that everybody else wants, based purely on physical appearance, right? I've been saying for a while, the biggest mistake men make is linking a dopamine hit to the brain that we get when we see an attractive woman. It's wired into us evolutionary. The biggest mistake we make is linking that dopamine hit to the idea of she must be good in bed and she must be good girlfriend material. Mm. Those are all three independent things that have nothing to do with each other. So basing, she turns me on, therefore I want her. And I want to have sex with her, and I want her, to hang out and be my girlfriend. It's just a bad dating strategy, but it's the one we all use. We're guys, right? We just have to know that that's what is going to be our initial draw to a woman. So when I say choose a woman who chooses you, we think, well, if on Match, I know on Match.com, it was always women 10 years older than me, kind of overweight, that would, message me, like me. And I'm a guy, I didn't, I've never chased younger women. And other than my second wife, who was amazingly hot and amazingly horrible in bed and amazingly horrible as a partner, but she was hot everywhere we went. People say, "That's your wife?" I go, "Uh-huh." And everybody say the same thing. She's gorgeous. And she was. So what happens with men is we think, well, according to Red Pill, if I'm not alpha, if I don't have this V-shaped body, if I don't have the big jaw, if I don't have the big muscles, six-pack abs, six-figure plus income, I'm not going to get the hottest women. But we've bought into a myth that that's not true at all, because women tell me things like, "Oh, Robert, I'm so attracted to your bald head." I go, "I'm not bald, I'm shaved." I just say that to say dumb stuff. Or, "You have kind eyes." Or, "Robert, your hands are so sexy." I'm going, what the fuck? What about my hands are attractive to a woman? "Oh, you have such kissable lips." Oh, okay, I'll go with that. The stuff that really does attract women is often beyond their conscious awareness, and I promise you, is beyond Red Pill psychology of what we think will attract what they call quality women, i.e., young and hot. Well, how that makes them quality, I'm not quite sure. But, we all know that, right? That's quality women. They're young and hot. Again, we assume they're good in bed. We assume they're good in relationship. No correlation. So that they don't have to be either of those if they're young and hot. They just don't have to. We'll still buy them trips to London and Madrid, and just without them even putting out or even talking to us. There's websites for that. So what I found is that if I'm living life on my terms, if I like me, if I get up every day in a good mood, knowing, just excited to, waking up in the morning, not knowing how my day's going to end, knowing it's going to be an adventure, knowing I'm going to make a difference in the world, knowing life's interesting, I'm taking good care of myself, I like myself, I'm happy with me, I'm living on purpose, I enjoy my life. I've come to realize that makes me highly attractive to all things feminine. Now, I don't have to go pound on any closed doors. I can choose from a multiple of open doors. And again, against the logic that men have that go, well, if I choose a woman who chooses me, I have to go for fat, not attractive, and old. I found the truth to be the exact opposite. That when I'm just living life on my terms and not chasing beauty, not chasing quality women, not trying to get laid, I have no problems getting laid. I have no limit to the choices I have of interesting, fun, kinky, crazy women. And the majority of the women that come on to me are significantly younger than me. I mean, my wife points that out regularly. My wife's 22 years younger than me. And she keeps saying, are you sure you don't want a younger woman? I go, no, no, no. I get much younger than you, dear. I get down into the stupid zone, right? I get down into, they're on social media and that's all they want to talk about, shit they saw on social media. No, I don't want to go younger than that. But it's still the younger women, whether it's here in Mexico, where I live, or in the US, Europe, other places I go, it's the younger women that come on to me. And it's funny because I'll work with guys. Maybe they get in their mid 30s, close to 40, and they'll go, Robert, help me. Before I get any older, I've got to figure out how to get a young woman. I go, what? We shoot for junior high age? What exactly is it in your target? Because here's the deal. The older I get, the more I'm attractive to even younger and younger women. But there's actually an evolutionary proof to a guy who's, let's say, mid 40s or later, 50s, 60s, I'm 68, who is still alive, number one. That's a good social proof, good evolutionary proof. You're alive and you're older than 50 because our ancestors didn't live to be older than that. If you're in halfway decent shape, hopefully good shape, hopefully you can tuck your shirts in. Hopefully, I mean, don't tuck your shirts into your shorts with your sandals and tube socks, but and you dress halfway decent. Maybe wear a decent watch. You can groom yourself. You have fun. You enjoy life. You got some maturity. You got some experiences under your belt. That is all a evolutionary and social proof to younger women that's wired into their DNA. That guy's got good genes. He'll not only father healthy babies because he's still alive in his 50s and 60s and looking healthy, right? You got to look healthy. If you're fat and drinking a lot and don't even know the way to the gym, that's not going to give you that proof. But if you're taking good care of yourself into your 50s, 60s, I'll let you know about 70s, but I think it will hold. Like I said, my wife's still insecure about the younger women chasing me. It's an evolutionary proof to women. It's not in their rational brain; it's in their emotional nervous system, and you'll turn their heads. They'll notice you. They'll be flirting with you. They'll be sending you indicators of interest. They'll be jutting a hip. They'll be leaning over and giving you that cleavage shot when they put, the dinner on your table. They'll be walking in front of you 2 or 3, 4 times. They'll walk up and ask you dumb questions to get your attention. It happens. But the problem is most men don't get that. I mean, women have taught me that. Women have taught me how to pay attention to the signals that women send. We men wait for the woman to put up a billboard that says, hey, dumb shit, ask me for my phone number. They don't do that in general. In fact, it would scare me if they did. But the signals they send are subtle, and most men have never learned to read them. And it's not watching if their eyes dilate or they twirl their hair. Twirling of a hair is a sign of stupidity, not a sign of attraction. Crossing their ankles, I don't know what that means, but don't ignore the evolutionary psychologists, biologists that tell you that stuff. The signals are more obvious, but still subtle. It is the jutting of a hip. It's a primate behavior. It is a leaning over and giving you a little bit of a cleavage shot. It is touching you inadvertently. It is the smile. It is the eye contact. It is those things that most men tune out, and we want to be sure. We don't want to make a mistake. We don't want to misread the signal. We don't want to think, oh, she was actually looking at the guy behind me, or, could that be me? So the problem is not so much choosing the woman who chooses us, because I think a lot of times men just totally are oblivious to the signals that quality women send them, and then go, well, I just can't, get the kind of women to date that I want to date. So bottom line is, if you want to be happy hanging out with a woman, she better want to be with you. And she better think you're pretty fucking amazing. And she better think, I got the best. Why would I be scanning for other? Why would I go seeking the attention of others? That's the woman you want. And if we get away a little bit, just a little bit from, how young is she and how attractive is she and how many augmentations does she have or how much Lululemon does she wear, and my wife fits all those categories, but she's also an amazing human being who's dropped out of high school at 15 because she was poor, but she has a higher IQ than I do. She has photographic memory. She gets shit done. She'll lean into any fear. She's emotionally adaptive. She treats me like gold. This Sunday, she gave me a pedi, trimmed my eyebrows, and waxed my ears. And she complains when I don't ask her to do those kinds of things often enough. She wants to love on me. She wants, to give me her full attention. And, she chooses me. She chooses me every day. And I know it. There's no doubt she's choosing me. And now that we've been married 7.5 years, I don't have to chase her to get her to keep choosing me, right? She keeps choosing me every day. And I think this is the only relationship I've ever been in that from day one till, years later, this woman gets up every day and chooses me. I'm the man she wants to be with.
Mm.
And anyway, I don't think you can go wrong with that. I don't think you can go wrong with that. Did that answer your question? I mean, was that more than enough information to answer it?
That was great. And it's funny, as you were talking, there was another line that I think I got from you that's related to this, which is the biggest mistake a man makes is trying to get a woman to like him. And I think those go in line together very well. I don't know if there's anything else on that subject you think. I had Sean Smith on the show last week, and we were talking.
I love Dr. Smith. He's one of my favorite human beings.
Same. And we were talking a lot about men in modern times and relationships and long-term relationships. And I brought you up during that conversation.
Did he say I'm one of his favorite people? Did he say that about me?
You'll have to watch the episode.
He takes this even further than I do. I mean, he's written, at least a couple of books, the Strategic Guide to Women
Tactical Guide
to Women, and then Gatekeepers.
Yeah.
And where man, he dives into this. Basically, he says, do not sacrifice your purpose for, romance to a woman. Do not let a woman come into your life and misdirect you from your purpose, for your reason for being. And, he just, as he'll say those kind of things, he's not harsh or mean. He's kind and loving and caring person. And, I've met him and his wife. I've met their adopted daughter. I've met their dog. I've been in their home. And, my wife knows Shanti. He knows, and he's just an amazing human being. But he calls it like it is. If you want a happy life, I mean, don't chase that happy wife, happy life, strategy. He said, you better pick a woman who not only picks you, who chooses you, who likes you, who thinks you're amazing, but a woman who makes your life easier, not more difficult. And again, I praise my wife for that regularly. Of like, yesterday She went to Costco and the market and picked up stuff for my smoothies and got some fruit and I went to my urologist yesterday for a checkup after a surgery I had a year and a half ago. He prescribed me he put me back on
Mm.
testosterone basic. She went and picked them up at the pharmacy for me like at 9:30 last night, and she just she just loves making my world easier. And I love making her life better. Her life has improved dramatically since she got with me. Now she does wear Lululemon and drives her Jeep Wrangler Rubicon and gets to fly first class. But we joke, we compete with each other to see who can outlove and outbless the other person. And she wins. She just loves me to death. And so since I married Lupita, my she's literally saved my life. I would have died
Mm.
7 years ago if she didn't find the doctor that found the tumor blocking my small intestine. Not only she literally saved my life, but since being with her, I got completely out of debt, bought a house and paid for it in 3 years, launched a new business, pay off credit cards regularly, pay cash for vehicles. I'm in good health. I'm fit. I have a beautiful home. I got my beautiful pit bull lying down here at my feet. There's a guy, renovating a bathroom right the other side of that wall. Anytime we need anything done, she finds it. Whether it's finding the dog, finding the guy to fix, to remodel the bathroom. So my life in not just subjective ways, in quantifiable, objective ways, my life has gotten significantly better since we married. That's how she's blessed my life. Now, that's choosing a woman who chooses you and blesses your life and makes it better, kind of going back to Dr. Sean T. Smith. Whatever women you get involved with, if you move them in with you, if you start getting in debt together, if you buy the car together, buy the rent together, what he said, that woman better be making your life better as you're making her life better. It's kind of like in marriage therapy, there's a marriage therapy joke that, people, once they live together long enough, they resort to what's called hall sex. They pass each other in the hall and go, fuck you, or fuck you. So that's basically how things go. If so men in a relationship, we want a good woman. A lot of men, about the time they hit 35, 40, 45, they've been really focused on careers, say, I want to find a good woman, get married, I want to have a family, I want kids. And I always say, well, that's going to make you suffer. And they go, why? Because getting married will make me suffer? Yeah, but that's not my reason. Well, having kids will make me suffer? Yeah, that too, but that's not my reason. Whenever you start dating with like an intention, like I want to find the mother of my kids, dating actually gets kind of weird,
Mm.
right? Like I would not have married my wife Lupita if I was going off a strict checklist: career, education, no kids, spoke my language, blah 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 blah. But she's just been an amazing partner because I wasn't looking for anything. And it just evolved the way it evolved without me trying to force it. Like, is she going to be a good mother to my children?
Mm.
So what I preach to men, all right, we want a good woman in our life. And I used to tell couples when they walked in my office, the best thing you guys can do for your marriage is both of you have good same-sex friends. And I think for men, having good male friends in your life, not just buddies you knew from college that maybe you talk to every 2 years, good same-sex friends in your life. That's the foundation of a healthy relationship. In fact, I even know smart women would ask me when I was dating, do you have guy friends? The smart woman knows to ask that question, back, when I say, hey, I got one or two, they're kind of, oh, but I can say right now, yeah, got a lot of them. Got a lot of good guy friends. And I'm in touch with them regularly. And I see them. We're talking about Austin before the call. Last time I was in Austin 2, 3 months ago, I went out to dinner 2 or 3 different times with, 6 to 8 different guy friends that I know in Austin, Texas. So whenever I go anywhere, I got guy friends around the world. And I'm in contact with them. So I've got good guy friends. And I think that is a core foundation of why my marriage is why this marriage has done so well, because I have just so many more guy friends in my life, and I'm connected to them Tomorrow I have a call with 6 other guys I've been in a group with for 6 years. We talk every other week for 90 minutes, and we're committed for life. Right? This may outlast any of our marriages, this group of guy friends. That's the tribe. I know in my second marriage with the wife that didn't want to have sex with me after our honeymoon, once it probably took me 5, 6, 7 years into that marriage to really get connected with men, get into a men's group, start connecting, start going to the gym more regularly, playing some basketball, started a softball team. And then I'd take road trips. I made a group of friends. We take road trips to go watch baseball around the country, around US, different ballparks, Fenway in Boston, Yankee Stadium, been to LA, been to San Francisco, been a lot of ballparks. And I'd come back from those retreats with the guys. And my wife, who rarely wanted to have sex, would say, I find you so attractive when you come back. Well, number one, I went away, and kind of like that song by Pink. Go away and let me miss you. When you come back, I want to kiss you. That's a good song, actually. No, you can't stay and take a shower. Leave. Go away. I want to miss you. So I went away, but I was with men. All this masculine energy. And, it's not like we were super highly conscious. I mean, we didn't go out and pick up on women or anything, but we were just told the same dumb guy jokes over and over again and just had fun. Guys being with guys. We're not trying to feel, are you happy? Are you having a good time? Is this what you wanted to do? Where do you want to eat tonight? Like we do if we're out with our woman, right? We're just going, hey, let's go get steak. I'm in. Yeah, let's just go buy tickets from a scalper outside the stadium. Yeah, let's go do it. It was just guys being with guys, having a good time, filling our buckets up, come home. Our women go, oh, you're back. You look good. And we've just been telling dumb guy jokes with guys. Now, imagine what that's like if you actually go and get like really conscious with a group of men and maybe do some pretty deep conscious work and work at opening our hearts and work at really embracing that masculine part of ourselves. And we bring that home too, if we have a woman, to our woman, or if we're single, just, bringing that attraction that it creates, like I talked about earlier in our conversation. So I'm just such a big fan of men having good guy friends, of having tribe. I don't think it's going to change, for example, that, we're going to start eliminating women from our life and go back in time, get in the Wayback Machine and go back. That's not going to happen. I don't know that it should. But if we're going to spend significant amounts of time with women, let's have that good foundation of good, conscious, loving, giving, fun, intelligent guys in our life that we stay connected with on a real regular basis. I'm just convinced it blesses every part of your life. Everything gets better when you got that foundation.